JB here. Hope everyone's doing outstanding. Tuesday, February 18th, 3:30 on this fine afternoon. Talk really quick about the market, some names I'm looking at, and go from there. Well, S&P is SPY is pretty much flat right here, 609.98. Some swings here today, but in the whole context of things, not too crazy moves. Yields are rising, rallying today. US dollar is stronger. The VIX is slightly higher. But you take a look at today's trading range compared to Friday's. I think it's a 0.41% trading range today, 0.43%. So all the way up to 611 down to 608. Seems like choppy, but in context of the rest of some of these volatile moves we've had, not too much, especially considering we're throwing throw away from all-time highs. Actually, if we close up here, it'll be all-time highs on the S&P. Well, have to rally just a little bit. But there, I always put the first chart I've been doing over the last couple days has been Meta, and Meta finally no big catalyst to really speak of. It just seems like takes them. You take the stairs up and then you take the escalator down. But anyway, in regards to the market, probably some chop here today. Uh, Maybe even some chop tomorrow. We have the Fed minutes at 2 o'clock tomorrow. I don't know how much direction that'll do for markets. And then I think we start working our way up to 615 here on the SPY. And then at some point, there's going to be another pull, right? So I don't know if it's going to be from 615 down to 600. It's going to be from 620 down to 605. It'll happen. And then you'll have all the bears back on top saying, we told you so, told you so. Uh, and then, we'll see how things play out here. But for now, a decent session here today. What else did I have? Why don't I have this up here? Okay. So anyway, in regards to Meta, it's just funny. Is no news, no catalyst, and then down 4%, erasing like 6 or 7 days of gains, and now all the headlines. Oh, 20 straight days in a row for Meta. Blah, blah, blah. So at some point it was going to happen. I'm sure at there'll be. I don't know if there'll be continuation here, but the thing is, it's been one of the stronger performers out of Magnificent Seven. So even today, you saw some weakness in some of these names. And then finally, Meta used to be the one that would, or at least over the last week or two, would be the one that would be green, while the Microsofts, the Amazons, the Googles, they were all weak. And then once that happens, the market would still go. And now we have Meta joining the party, and the market's still holding their ground. So hold on one second. Uh, so that's the overall market. All right, so Meta, the SPY, and again, upper Bollinger Band 611.59. So we got to 611. So again, nothing crazy here. I mean, it stinks sometimes to see red or see this chop, but just you know, normal consolidation. All right, so that's the overall market. So then individual names. First I'll talk about WYNN at the open. It actually, so it broke over 90, then it was 91, and my calls are over a double. I'm like, oh, I should close some out, and then sure enough, breaks back under 90, and then I got another chance to close some out for a double, so I did, and then it continued all the way up to 93 by about the noon hour. My calls are up 200%. I'll just continue to hold the rest of the 95s. I was actually looking for some later strikes to play for a move over $100. Again, like I was saying on the watch list this morning, I don't want to put too much risk on. So I'm kind of like in a, I would say, uh, I use the analogy like harvesting, right? So I'm not like in harvest mode, but I want to definitely take some risk out by hopefully locking in a lot of profits uh, before I start adding risk on. So I'll probably wait on WYNN. If I get an opportunity to lock some of my calls in, I didn't get too many on the WYNN 95s. I will, but I'll probably hold those. You take a look, still over the 50 end of 200-day moving average. I think that bodes well. And then you have that backdrop of Asia, right, in China. And WYNN has been very sensitive to moves over, especially overnight in China. So would not be surprised if there's any continuation tomorrow in regards to China markets that WYNN gap and go tomorrow. And who knows? It's a name that could go 4, 5, 6, 7% in a day. So it could be over 95 tomorrow. And so if I do lock some more of my 95s, I'll look to get some later strikes there. And then iRobot today, no news, no catalyst, all the way down to 903 at about 9:45, and then it embarked on a 45-minute dollar reversal. So pretty much a 10% reversal in less than an hour. No news, no upgrade, no filings, nothing like that. And then it just kept going. It was hit 1056 earlier today. I was saying once it broke 925, it over the last couple months, every time it broke 925, it hits 1050 and it hit 1050. Now the next spot here is $13. So, of course, kicking myself a little bit for not adding the March 14s or 13s when it did do its dips last week, but I still think it's going to pay handsomely. And earnings aren't until March, so I think maybe this has some legs. So it's not like there's earnings tomorrow and the company can come out with earnings and halt the momentum. This could be a name that just picks up steam. The story gains traction. The whole possible rumors of M&A. Uh, the I talked about the new CEO. He did an insider buy, uh, pretty much a couple months after he took over the reins. And it's at, I think it's 12.48. It's the insider buy price. Who knows if he comes out with something? So I just think this whole, it's like a snowball. And I think the longer this goes into earnings, the better the odds of a higher move. And then the higher it goes, the bigger the possibility that there might be some kind of short squeeze situation. So really like this one. I'll continue to hold the March strikes there outside Robot. And then Teladoc, disappointing. I mean, again, I try and put things into context, or at least put a positive spin and put into context of the overall what it's done over the last week or so. But Teladoc's only down to its Thursday levels, and only broke its Friday levels just a little while ago. It's sitting here. I mean, it is down 9% here today, but thankful to have locked a lot of the profits in. Unfortunately, I didn't lock the Marches or some of the March 20s in when they were a double, but I'll still hold those. And then the other fortunate part is that the Aprils, those have come down, the April 20s that I was looking at. So I'm not going to NA today. Again, in the whole scheme of trying to at least take some more profits or take some risk off the table, but I'll still continue to look for opportunities to play that one for upside earnings next week. I think it heads north of 14 in the coming days. Again, I mean coming days, probably tomorrow. And I think $20 is a target, especially if the earnings, even just a hint of beat and slight positive commentary. I think that's all it needs, and it will continue to head higher. Teladoc TripAdvisor. I'm still looking to get my June strikes out. It's been frustrating here today. I think it hit 17.20 at the open. No, 17.13. No volume really at the open. Bounced. So I'll continue to look for opportunities to lock those in. Earnings Thursday after hours, so I've got some time there. Uh, Lemonade looked great out of the gate, all the way up. It was by 11 o'clock. It was $41. I think it was up over 10%. Gave back almost $3 to that within an hour at 12:15. It's been chopping here at 38.44. The 50 strikes I was looking at it after the open, there was a word double or more than that at 11 o'clock, and now they're back to being up like 60%. Again, I was looking for some calls for possible premium build into earnings. I'll probably just hold my 45s, which are green earlier today, now back in the red. So I'll just continue to hold those. Still have 3 more days left to expiration. But one of those names, I mean, Lemonade could be $60 next week at some point, or it could be 25. So, which brings me to Roku. And Roku, another name, looked great out of the gate. It was all the way up to 10. I think it close to 103, 102.39, and then just boom, it did its normal thing at about 10:15. Let's see if I have it on my chart. I don't even have it up here. Actually, even less. It hit at 9:31 was 102, and then by the time it was 9:45, it was $100, and then now it just continues to melt. Hit 94.44 at about 3 o'clock. Bounced a little bit here. Just so disappointing. I was hoping it would hold that 96 handle that it tested on Friday. Didn't do that. So it's kind of like wait and see mode. I almost grabbed some 110s and 120s earlier today. I'll just continue to watch that. Which has just been disappointing. It's almost like I should probably just put it on the back burner for now, but then the situation will come, when I do that, that's when there'll be some kind of M&A. So I'll just continue to watch Roku for possible opportunities there. And then some other quick names. Dell. I mean, again, frustrating. I didn't add some strikes for this week when I got the spec calls last week. I'll probably just sit on my hands on this one. Take a look at Intel. Intel I was talking about all week last week. 27. It's just hitting highs here too. More possible. I always talk about Intel. It's sum of parts, right? I mean, its valuation sum of parts is substantially higher than even $27, probably like $30-$40, but well, $35 to $40. So now you have talks of maybe someone interested in just buying pieces of Intel. I don't miss that one. I'm not going to try and chase it here, but that probably has more upside. Arista Networks, I think, reports after the close today. And then SolarEdge. SolarEdge reports tomorrow after the close. And, again, another name. This one could be over $20 after its earnings, or it could be under $10 after its earnings. Sitting here at 16.85. I spin it. I'm more bullish bias here. It has a huge short interest. If there's any decent earnings, the stock could be in the mid 20s and further. But I don't have that high conviction, so I'll probably just sit on the sidelines. But definitely, if you're interested in a speculative name that could have some crazy multi-bag opportunities on either side, SolarEdge could be it into earnings. I think that's it, folks. 15 minutes to the close. I'll be back on audio. Rock and roll.